we look around us, much of what surrounds us kind of started life as various rocks and sludge buried in the ground in various places in the world. But of course, they don't look like rocks and sludge now. They look like, TV cameras, monitors, annoying radio mics. And so this kind of magical transformation is what I was trying to get at with my project, which became known as the Toaster Project. And it was also inspired by this quote from Douglas Adams. And the situation is from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And the situation it describes is the hero of the book, he's a 20th century man, finds himself alone on a strange planet, populated only by a technologically primitive people. And he kind of assumes that, yes, he'll become these villagers, he'll become their emperor with his, and transform their society with his wonderful command of technology and science and the elements. But of course, realizes that without the rest of human society, he can barely make a sandwich, let alone a toaster. But he didn't have Wikipedia. So I thought, OK, I'll try and make an electric toaster from scratch. And working on the idea that the cheapest electric toaster would also be the simplest to reverse engineer, I went and bought the cheapest toaster I could find, took it home, and was kind of dismayed to discover that inside this object, which I'd bought for just £3.94, there were 400 different bits made out of 100 plus different materials. I didn't have the rest of my life to do this project. I had, maybe 9 months. So I thought, OK, I'll start with 5. And these were steel, mica, plastic, copper, and nickel. So, starting with steel, how do you make steel? So I went and knocked on the door of the Rio Tinto Chair of Advanced Mineral Extraction at the Royal School of Mines and said, how do you make steel? And Professor Cilliers was very kind and talked me through it. And my vague rememberings from GCSE science, well, steel comes from iron. So I phoned up an iron mine and said, hi, I'm trying to make a toaster. Can I come up and get some iron? Unfortunately, when I got there, it emerges Ray, he had misheard me and thought I was coming up because I was trying to make a poster, and so wasn't kind of prepared to take me into the mines. But after some nagging, I got him to do that.
Through his creased limestone, and that was produced by sea creatures 350 million years ago in a nice, warm, sunny atmosphere. When you study geology, you can see what's happened in the past in the world, terrific changes in the Earth.
As you can see, they had the Christmas decorations up. And, of course, it wasn't actually a working mine anymore, because though Ray was a miner there, the mine had closed and had been reopened as a kind of a tourist attraction because, of course, it can't compete on the scale of operations which are happening in, South America, Australia, wherever. But anyway, I got my suitcase of iron ore and dragged it back to London on the train, and then was faced with the problem, OK, how do you make this rock into components for a toaster? So I went back to Professor Cilliers, and he said, go to the library. So I did. And was looking through the undergraduate textbooks on metallurgy, completely useless for what I was trying to do, because, of course, they don't actually tell you how to do it if you want to do it yourself, and you don't have, like, a smelting plant. So I ended up going to the History of Science library and looking at this book. This is the first textbook on metallurgy written in the West, at least. And there you can see that woodcut is basically what I ended up doing. But instead of a bellows, I had a leaf blower. And, that was something that reoccurred throughout the project, was, the smaller the scale you want to work on, the further back in time you have to go. And so this is, after a day and about half a night kind of smelting this iron, I dragged out this stuff and it wasn't iron. But luckily, I found a patent online for industrial furnaces that use microwaves, and 30 minutes at full power, and I was able to finish off the process. So my next... the next thing I was trying to get was copper. Again, this